How to get a loan if you have bad credit like you guys. How do I get a loan if you got bad credit? I'm not going to ask you how many got bad credit. And I don't mean that credit score, 600 or 900, I don't mean that. But, and you start out, you get a joint venture partner that has extraordinary credit. They will look beyond your bad credit. And that may upset you because that means you're going to have, if you have more than 50%, they're going to look to you. But if you only have 50%, they're not going to look to you, and they will look to the guy or the entity that has great credit. And a lot of people, you come to them with a 2 million euro low-hanging fruit that they have to do nothing but be your joint venture partner. Remember, non-recourse, no guarantee. Well, why would they say no? Now, some of you, they're going to say no just because of the way you look. But I mean, why would they say no? There's no reason that they would say no. And off balance sheet, when you borrow money in a joint venture, it's not balance sheet debt. It's off balance sheet debt, and off balance sheet debt is not accrue against you. And you'll see Microsoft, a lot of the big companies have off balance sheet debt because it's part of a joint venture. You have to have more than 50% of the debt to carry it on your balance sheet, either as a positive or a negative. And so the person that you ask, or the entity that you ask to be your joint venture partner, may have a reason that they want to carry something off balance sheet. In my heyday, they used to say, if you want a green contract, Pena will stand under a green light. If you want a blue contract, Pena will stand under a blue light. Because I was considered a financial chameleon. I changed colors, changed accents. I never changed my hairdo, but and as I got older, I had less hair to change. But I've spoken with a French accent when I talk to French bankers. Paribas, Mr. Pena, I'm told that you went to school in France. Yes, I did. It was a wonderful experience. Charles de Gaulle patted me on the head. I didn't put that part in, but so without lying, exaggerating, it's all right to exaggerate, but don't lie. Because all bankers are going to expect you to puff it up, puff the dragon up. But you want, selfishly, you want your bankers to grow and be able to get more lending authority. Part of the script that you've heard is what's your lending authority, not just at the bank level, but at the individual credit officer level. And remember, when you're talking to these banks, financial institutions, and it's not just banks that you can get the money from, you want to know what their lending limit is. Now, some of the junior bankers won't even know what their own lending limit is. Well, they're obviously not a banker you need to be talking to much. You want somebody with a senior. At your level, normally the bankers will have, maybe $1 to $2 million in signing authority. Now, some of you craftier guys, like the Dutch guys, will then craft your deal so you can have that banker sign off because he can sign off at a certain amount. But we don't take one deal, one bank, second deal, second bank, third deal, third bank, fourth deal. You want about 4 or 5 or 6 banks. So the first 4, 5, 6 deals, you're not going to be taking them to the same guy, back to the same bank. Now, when you start through the second time, and Andres is now on his, because he's got 6 banks, he's gone through the bankers 3 times. 3 times. Not always the same banker, because the deals are bigger and bigger. But you don't want, and the reason why you don't want too many bank loans at the same bank, because contrary to what they tell you, even though you haven't cross-collateralized, they can sweep your account. If you've got 3 loans at the goddamn bank, and you've got cash, for each deal, they can come and they can freeze your account, even if it's not collateralized by a certain deal. And in the United States, I can't speak for other places, but cashier's checks can be stopped. And you think when you get a cashier's check, what's the equivalent here of a cashier's check? Yeah, you think a certified check is like money in your hand. It's not. It's only money in your hand if you cash in, you take the cash out. Because the government and the backing entity can go and take the money until it's been made 100% fungible. Fungible means cashed. Why you need to ask for 3 to 5 times more money than you think you need? Because you really don't know how much money you require. Is there any such thing as a bad deal? Now, the bankers will ask you, is there any circumstances, Mr. Customer, potential customer, that this deal could go south or go sideways? Or they phrase it different ways. And your answer is, now I'm being sarcastic when I say this, there's no way under the sun that this deal will not pay off the credit. Because your intention is not the default, right? You didn't start it in the banking relationship to default. You started in to pay it off. And so your intention is, that doesn't mean some of the deals won't go sideways. But if the borrower, shows even a little bit of doubt, how does that build confidence with the banker? It doesn't by definition. It doesn't by definition. Some of the bankers, to the young guys, some of the young guys in the audience will say, well, that sounds fine, and I'm sure you're very positive about your transaction, but how do you know? And then you, directly or indirectly, because of our board and our professionals, accountants and lawyers, have assured me that this transaction will happen and prosper. It's your board. They're looking to your board for credibility. Because frankly, most of you haven't done any deals in this room. So how can you possibly venture even a guess? But you're always positive. I used to say short of a tsunami. So I've been using the word tsunami for a long time. And then we had a financial tsunami, and then I had to use a different word. But the last financial tsunami is a long time ago, so everybody's forgot about it. Just like banking, a consortium. No bad deal. The main reason bankers will loan you money because they have to get money out the door. I've said before, you may not know this, for every dollar that's deposited, every yen that's deposited, every pound that's deposited in a bank can be lent out between 20 and 40 times, depending on the bank structure. They have to get the money out the door. They have to. So why not you? How a startup with a track record can get financed. Now, government contracts, as I alluded to earlier today, you don't have a track record with the government, but you can joint venture with a company that's got a track record. I joint ventured with Marion Refining decades ago because I had no contract. Now, I've often wondered, I haven't checked, if my track record with the government, although it's decades old, if I could still use it again. I'm not going to, but they want somebody that they can check a box that have done for the government, that has done business with the government. The same thing, some people, and it's not a crazy request really. And really what they're doing is they're trying to cover their own butt. Chinaman partner, even though you're 10% partner and he's 90% partner, Chinaman's partner has done $500 billion worth of government contracts. They're looking for every excuse they can hang their hat on that they decided to do business with you, or they decided to give you a bank credit, to lessen the potential of them making a mistake. So they checked all these boxes. The real reason why most people can't get a loan or finance, they haven't asked enough people, they haven't made enough calls. How people knowingly sabotage, Chinaman, how people knowingly sabotage their own efforts because you've seen your parents do it for decades, and so you don't do what your parents tell you, you do what your parents, do what they do. And not many parents have self-esteem, etc. And people have engaged in self-sabotaging activity. I got a letter from one of the other Irish guys, and the letter was it was a self-sabotaging letter. He saw pig fucker. And he says, even though you don't have time to read this, I'd appreciate it. It's like, I know I'm not worthy as pig fucker, but if you could, piss on my face because it's on fire, I would appreciate it. I deleted it. I was going to bring it in and show the name in front of the camera, but I decided not to because I'm a kinder, gentler guy now.